Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dan and I'm here to bring you another FPL video. So in this one we're going to be breaking down my team selection for game week 3 as well as a list of potential transfers in for me for this week moving forward. If you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing, and also if you do enjoy the content, as always, please leave a like below. So let's move into the team selection first of all, and we'll talk about the transfer that I've made first of all. So the back line, Sanchez, Trent, Walker, Nico Williams and Reece James has finally made it into my team at the cost of Andy Robertson. So made the transfer earlier on in the week, confirmed to beat the price rise of Reece James from 6 to 6.1 million. There was one evening, I think it was Thursday or Wednesday, where he looked like he was potentially going to rise and Robertson potentially going to fall, resulting in essentially a 0.2 million value swing. So rather than waiting around, I thought I'd confirm the transfer in, and happy to have him in my squad really. I think he was definitely one of my top targets to bring in. His XGI and in terms of what I think he can do for the next few fixtures for Chelsea, I think his ceiling could be quite phenomenal. So absolutely no regrets for getting rid of Robertson. I think in terms of touching on the reasons for getting rid of that second Liverpool defence, really, I think I was very unlucky to not get the 2 clean sheets or the double clean sheets against Fulham and Crystal Palace. I think a lot of people, based on the fixtures, would have backed some more returns for both Trent and Robertson. I think for what it's worth, Trent looked absolutely fantastic in the last game in terms of potential attacking output versus Palace. Again, it just wasn't his day in terms of someone getting on the end of those incredible passes that he makes. So I think really out of the two of Trent and Robbo, there was no kind of hesitation really that Robertson was the one who had to go. And I think really in terms of the Liverpool backline with Matip and Konate both injured, and also Thiago as well in terms of that midfield area, I think really they're going to lose a little bit of control in games, and I potentially can see Man United of course scoring at Old Trafford, meaning there'll be another wipeout of the double clean sheet. So I just felt it made the most sense in terms of the first transfer to make, and also it's allowed to essentially more options for me to upgrade further on the pitch with 1 million now in the bank. So moving into the midfield then, currently vice-captained is Mo Salah with Saka, Neto and Mason Mount. I think really the two weak points, well not weak points, but disappointments for sure so far have 100% been Saka and Mount in terms of that 8 million price point. I did expect a little bit more from them, and maybe the conversation would have been different at this point if either of them would have returned big in the past few weeks. I am holding faith in them though, as both these guys' fixtures look great moving forward, so they are staying in my team for now. The weak point really here is definitely Neto. I think from an eye test perspective, he has looked really threatening. He had essentially a couple of clear chances really to give us some kind of return last game, but just decided to not either put it into the back of the net, take too many touches in the box. And I think that's what we can probably kind of expect from him moving forward as a player. I think, again, without a recognised number 9 fully, although Hwang seems to be slotting into there for Wolves, for now, without Jimenez, I think Neto's return value is looking a little bit less and less likely. So with that £1 million in the bank, it allows me to stretch as far as a 6.5 million midfielder, which I think offers me a tremendous amount of flexibility. And of course, if I don't want to play him this week, I can also put Andreas in for him on the bench. The second alternative for me in terms of transfer in is Nico Williams, of course, being at 4 million. I can stretch him to either a 4.5 or a 5 million defender. So again, he's potentially one to watch in terms of transfers out. Moving into the strikers then, it's Gabriel Jesus, currently with a captaincy armband on him, and Erling Haaland. So I think in terms of the captaincy, I'll just touch on that again. With a vice captaincy for Salah, it could be basically either way. You can swap this around. I think it's personal preference. It's going to be very close in terms of how these guys return. I can definitely see Mohamed Salah returning against Man United. Maybe only 1 goal, potentially an assist this week, though I'm not necessarily sure he'll repeat the haul of last season that so many managers missed out on. But I think, Gabriel Jesus, although he's one less point than Salah in terms of a goal scored, being a forward, and also not necessarily on penalties, is the negative side of playing him. I just think the fixture is better overall. So for now, the armband is on him, but that may change come deadline tomorrow. And I think Erling Haaland, again, doesn't really need any more justification. I think he was very, very unlucky last week not to get more returns. Foden had a clear square opportunity to pass to him, but decided not to, took the shot on and was saved by the Bournemouth goalkeeper. So I don't think there's any reason to lose faith in him for now. So he definitely gets the nod again. So yeah, I think overall I'm pretty happy with the squad. Definitely in terms of, like I say, weak points, it's Nico Williams and Neto are the potential transfers out for me. Definitely the 8 million midfielders are on the kind of final watch list week, really. I may hold fire again as game week 4 looks quite promising for this team also. So no immediate transfers out that are needed, which is good, barring injuries, of course, or any suspensions or anything like that. So game week 5 onwards could potentially be where Saka or Mason Mount make way should they fail to return any more points in the next few weeks. But I think the immediate second transfer usage needs to be going on either Nico Williams or Pedro Neto, really, in terms of improving the squad. So overall, sitting on 128 points, just above 2 million in terms of overall rank. It's not, amazing by any stretch of the imagination. There's plenty of other either content creators or people on Twitter, for example, that are much better ranked than this, taking a few maybe more gambles or getting certain swings right in terms of Luis Diaz or other popular template picks. But I'm still confident that, over the next few weeks, the structure of this team still has a lot of potential to explode or to move those ranks up very, very quickly. So not taking any hits this week, at least planned. And 1 million sat in the bank at the moment with a squad value of 99.5 million, thanks to a couple of those price rises. So that's the team for now. As mentioned in the introduction, I've also got a section here talking about potential options that I do have for those Neto or Williams upgrades. So really, in terms of options, I've got I would say predominantly midfielders over defenders. Realistically, I think Nico Williams to Cucurella is 100% an option. I think as a short-term punt, Cucurella has the potential to return quite significantly, like Reece James, and easily could come into my thinking for sure come deadline day tomorrow. I've also got to keep in mind, of course, price rises and price falls, though. So if Neto looks like he potentially is lowering in price based on selling, he may get the nod in terms of the out for one of the three guys on the top here. Potentially, though, like I say, if he doesn't drop, he could be a bench fodder for this week. Andreas can come in that midfield slot for him with Nico Williams getting upgraded to Cucurella. So really, in terms of 5 million defenders, he's really the only person that I would consider. There are, of course, other 4.5 options in, let's say, Rico Henry or a Brentford defender, but I don't think it's exciting enough for me in terms of options really to go for. So I much prefer the options that are on the screen, really, in terms of either long-term returns or short-term, or a bit of both, really. So no surprises, I think, in terms of Martinelli. Coming in now at 6.3 million, I can reach him and then still have 0.2 in the bank to navigate any price rises or falls moving forward, which I do like the idea of. I've also got Pascal Gross. Again, I think no surprises to see him there. I think a few content creators have also decided to go with him. I think Brighton's fixtures from an attacking point of view look absolutely phenomenal, and I think he's a great option moving forward. And of course Rodrigo as well. So the only, I guess, in terms of downside for Rodrigo, it's about the Chelsea fixture this week. Do I think he can return? Probably not. Over the next 2 weeks, probably even a chance that he blanks in both. It's from game week 5 onwards, really, where I maybe consider him. So he's really kind of more on here as a consideration rather than maybe someone that comes in this week. And the same goes for Eze, really. I think Crystal Palace's fixtures also not looking too favourable, but as a picker and a differential option, I think at 5.5 million, still allowing me the flexibility with the 1 million in the bank, he potentially could be that direct move from Neto to him. So I think all in all, really, I've got some potential options here that are definite upgrades to Neto, some immediate returns possible in terms of possibilities, and some maybe a bit more long term. But overall, I think we've got some very, very good options here. One quick thing I want to mention based on Martinelli's performances so far really is the thing is by not going for him, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Lingard of past when he joined West Ham. He was, I think, at 6.5 million. And the guy just kept returning week after week. And I think there was a lot of managers that just didn't jump on the bandwagon essentially with him. And I fear that Martinelli's going down that road where if I don't jump on him now, how much more is he going to return? The Arsenal fixtures look very, very favourable, and I think at 6.3 million he still offers fantastic value. Could offer even more based on price rises going forward, and potentially if Saka doesn't start returning with him or alongside him, rather than the Saka to the Martinelli sideways move, which I'm pretty against, I think, for this week, potentially he can get downgraded to someone else and then upgrade the defence in game week 5. So, using 2 free transfers, that is, in game week 5, rolling in game week 4, as I think the fixtures still look good. That way I'm still holding Martinelli through the favourable fixtures of Arsenal, and then also keeping an eye on Saka. I think potentially Martinelli is the option, but Gross is a very, very close second for me, with Cucurella, I think, as the close third. So they're kind of my thoughts really in terms of these guys as options. Gross definitely has the potential to excel both of these in terms of returns based on being penalties and all the set pieces he takes. Cucurella, I think, is on one side corners, but again is a potential rotation risk and maybe a bit more short-term punty. And Martinelli, of course, as we know, is on set pieces himself as well a little bit, including penalties potentially if he wins one. So I think overall, like I say, I feel like I'm in a good place in terms of which transfers I feel like I'm going to make in terms of that second free one, and also happy with the Reece James move as well. So hopefully you find the content useful. Again, as always, guys, let me know in the comments if you've got any headaches, any dilemmas, whether it be benching options or any transfers that you're thinking about. And of course, tomorrow morning I will be live for the deadline stream again, and I may have already made one of these moves based on price falls and rises. So keep an eye out. Tune in if you'd like to show some more support. But until then, thanks again for showing the support so far and watching the video. Take care and good luck for Game Week 3.